Takes us into the regular meeting. We don't need to do all this, do we? So we do have the presence of a full quorum for the regular meeting. Do we want to take a recess?
Now that I've drank a pitcher of water,
I'm okay, keep going.
Okay.
We'll get up as we have to.
Keep on moving. Let's move to, you already did the pledge of allegiance. Item 4, invitation to the audience. Public comment. Anyone at this time, public, staff, Zoom? Anything? Okay. Let's take item 4, consider and discuss the possible approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on March 27, 2024.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Lalonde, second by Mr. Sargent. For all those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Item 5, General Manager's report, fellow.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I did provide a water percentage on both Amistad and Falcon Lakes. We're at 20.6% at this time, and it looks like it's gradually, if it doesn't rain anymore, gradually go down like 0.1% every day, go down. That's it. Okay, so we're in stage 3, and if it ever reaches 15%, we're gonna have to change to stage 4, which is picture. We'll be out there policing, looking around, making sure that nobody's letting the water at the wrong time. We have certain days that Laguna Vista can use the water for irrigation or anything that they need to use it from the irrigation side. And certain days for 40 the barrel and certain days in South Padre. So it'll change the stage to 4 stage 4. And on the second part of the bullet there, the second bullet, Texas desal, we were out there last week and we met with all the Texas Association, Desalination Association. We were there, Dave, and I know Kyle Fraser, I think he just left. But there were two presentations that opened their eyes like really clear. One is the cost of utilities altogether, not just like the phone, internet services, all that kind of deal. But and then you have on one side of the pie, we called it a donut, but it looks more like a pie, where they have there's water on the right side, essential and non-essential uses like the phones and all that. Paying like a real high cost, $150 to $200 per month. When you go to the water side, $37 for the water a month, and then the cheapest one was in trash, like $17 per month. So that presentation gave us a good comparison of how utilities and we're usually paying more for the unessential than the essential stuff that like water. We think it's on the low side. We need to correct that in the presentations that we're gonna have in the cities like San Padre with a on-committee council member. We're gonna have to bring these presentations to all the public so they can see that water is one of the cheapest of all the cities.
yeah, we're not going to tell them we're going to raise their rates. We want to tell them that just
I
let them know
want them to understand that
what a value they're getting.
The rates are undervalued.
Yeah.
it needs to happen.
Right.
So just the reality of it, it's not something that we're making up. The studies were made by the Texas Desalination Engineers, Association Engineers, that they provided those presentations at the meeting, at the workshop actually. So that's one presentation that we need to make sure that the public understands what's going on. And then the second one was the cost of desalination compared to buying desalinate or what is it, RO water. If you buy it Walmart or anywhere, you buy like a 32 case of bottled water for $5 maybe less. That would be the cost, $5 per thousand gallons of, seawater desalination. So what would you rather have, like $5 of this 32 pack or 1,000 gallons for $5? So it just kind of brings that reality back to the community and show that we're already purchasing bottled water at $5 for 32 containers, or maybe 2 big bottled waters at the local convenience store. And I believe I heard something that there was a $10 bottle when you go to the Disneyland. Didn't I hear that? $10 bottle of bottled water. So that's what we need to make sure that everybody understands that we can produce that water for maybe $6 a 1,000 gallons, but it's better to have that kind of water at that cost than not have any water at all.
Right.
At one point, it looks like just like Dr. Limon had mentioned earlier, that people are coming in, but they're not just coming in to Port Isabel, they're coming into the whole valley, all the way to Rio Grande, and they're all taking water from the Amistad and Falcon Lake. Both of them. So it's needing our water at the same time that the growth is going and building more homes and this and that. And nobody's bringing new water with them. It's just the existing water that we have.
Upward growth is happening.
Right. So those are presentations that were shown to us at the Texas Desalination Association workshop. It's all good information that we all need to look into and pass it on.
You do the presentations, you need to bring that 32 pack of water, put it on the table, that's $5 or you want $1,000.
Yeah, we'll bring two
And
bring a $1,000 cubitainers in too.
I think I printed that photo,
On the website yet?
the photo of that 2 bottle water and the big 1,000 gallon tank. But I cannot find it. I had it readily available, so I'll bring it up at a later date.
Yeah.
But I'd like to show that presentation to the board, maybe at the next board meeting or the following after that. Takes 15, 20 minutes. Anyhow, that's all I have for that.
I received Justin sent us I'm still around, Michael.
Item 6, Director of Operations report.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the operations report for the month of March, in comparison to February, the total service orders, call-outs for the distribution side in February, there were 308, and it went up in March to 325. The areas that were affected were water tap, change meters, faulty meter, faulty transmitter, work on angle valves, and maintenance. On the collection side, for February, the total service orders or call-outs were 85 compared to March was 73. So they went down as far as the service calls. Those areas affected the most were sewer backup, sewer taps, and the preventive maintenance. In the lift station and collection department, they had 5 service orders more in the month of March than in February. February was 43 and March was 48. And the areas that were mostly affected were maintenance and/or adding Microsoft at the lift stations, preventive maintenance on lift station property, and audio-visual alarm checks in accordance with TC2 guidelines. That concludes the monthly report. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
For the record, Mr. Starkey left the meeting for board member discussion. Item 7, district engineers report.
Good evening. Just I guess to start off here, we'll give an update on the Long Island Village water and sewer improvements. We have completed the drawing specs and advertised for bids, so that was, already has received its first newspaper advertisement. So it's on the street right now with everybody sharpening their pencils and get that competitively bid. We have a pre-bid conference scheduled for Friday, May 17th at 2 p.m. and we're going to go ahead and hold it there in the Arts in Long Island Village. And then we have the bids due, they'll be open and read aloud again at Long Island Village on May 31st at 2 p.m. And then we'll present them here at the June board meeting for consideration and approval. So we are bidding the full project, we're talking almost 22,000 of 8-inch sewer, 2,200 feet of cured-in-place pipe, 2 lift stations and associated force mains, almost 23,000 feet of 8-inch water lines, about 47,000 square yards of paving, your service yard lines and meters, and then there's various deducts as bid alternates, so we can make sure we can award an amount that's within the budget. So that's how the bidding is advertised and being requested this time. And when we were up at Texas Water, we ran into our supplier for the meters, and one of the things they mentioned is they have a price increase coming, because right now it's bid to where they bid through the general contractor to purchase the meters. But since we've been notified of a price increase that's going to take effect in May, we requested a quote so we can pre-purchase those meters, have them supplied by the district, rather than having them purchased through a general contractor with a markup to get a better price. So we're probably bringing that quote here for the next board meeting to do a pre-purchase on meters and just addend this plan. Oh, we're talking 1,025. Yeah, it's on the range of a little over 1,000 meters. That we'd be able to buy direct and have that savings, and of course we paid through this fund that we created for that. So that's the status of where we're at on their project. And so I guess the next item here is just the pending change orders for water plant 1. I mean, there are quite a bit going on, and luckily about 20 minutes before the workshop I received a good summary. So we can just, if there's a handout here that we can reference versus there's a lot of pieces in the board packet itself. But at the last meeting, I brought up the seawater process modifications. And really, if you look at this one-page summary, that was covering change proposal 2 and change proposal 5. And it's more or less the same amount that we had discussed at the last meeting, even though it's still pending review by Police and Naples. But just to get the full picture of all the field changes and items that are pending. This is really a full summary of all the costs that have been involved. And starting off with proposal 1, it's plumbing modifications, feed line trenches. These are field changes identified by the plumber as he mobilized to the site, and just some input operations that found were, connecting washer and dryer hookups, there was just various improvements on the plumbing side of it. And so that needs to be formally, requested, added to the contract at an amount of $34,285. The super duplex steel pipe, that's the fittings and the equalization basin, so it can, and also coating, so it can receive the seawater process from the bay without, using our existing structures. So that has that $71,540 impact. With the electrical service, the design was done for electrical service to come off of Woody's Lane, but as we met with AEP, the electrical service actually comes off the Hess track. And so that change in direction added lanes to the electrical service to get that connected. So with that change in the electricity, that's a $33,163 increase. And then, of course, we've done the seawater modifications during the middle phase, which, now that we've considered a $72 million job, I mean, these are huge savings to help improve that number that, that also is coming into place. But in terms of time, we're talking, we've added 282 days to our current contract to get it prepped for the seawater modification. And so the seawater desalination change proposal 5 is part of that letter that was sent at the last meeting. We separated the super duplex fittings from the rest of the pipe changes, so that number's down to 208,835. And then the ground storage tank, it was originally bid as rammed aggregate piers. And as they were doing the field tests, because the entire foundation was bid out to be designed and constructed by the subcontractor. So really it was bid at a pre-design level. And so when the contractor mobilized the site, they used a section of the geotech report for rammed aggregate piers. And as they started all their test cores, all their testing failed. So rammed aggregate piers was not a viable option for a foundation to move forward. And so what they've been able to determine through their field work was that this controlled modulus concrete piers is a method that'll work, but everyone did the job as rammed aggregate, and the real ability for us to get it done is through controlled modulus concrete piers. And so that has this $399,100 impact to get the foundation built. So that's another request that's part of this improvement to get the ground storage in place. So once we add these 6 proposals, we're looking at an increase of the $746,926. And it's just for discussion because I haven't had enough time I just received this about 20 minutes ago. So, I just wanted to give you a full picture since we only presented a small part in the last discussion. So essentially, the request for the next meeting would be just a correction and change order 2 to incorporate all of these proposals, these conditions that are changed on the side. All right. And then I guess if there's any questions on that part, or I can jump to the next bullet. All right, so the next one is our Texas Water Development Board. Where we got the drinking water stream revolving fund request that came to our attention, and we found it as a great avenue to cover inflation and everything else that came into play. So basically, we formally got the engineering feasibility report approved on March 28th for the 600,000 gallon elevator storage tank, the backup generator, transfer pump station at water plant, in the Laguna Vista, the transfer fund for water to Port Isabel, upgrading the high service pumps at water plant 2, and then decommissioning the still ground storage tanks. So we do have revised cost estimates. With this engineering feasibility report from March 28th, that allowed us to formally submit the plans for review and approval by the Texas Water Development Board. So those were submitted April 10th, and we were up at Texas Water. And so that starts the clock first. Within 60 days, those plans will be approved for construction, and we can get them all out for bid. So that's basically, with these April construction cost estimates, we're tracking our funding, make sure we're covered, and basically, as we're looking now at this, $746,000 for the contract changes at Water Plant 1, the revised construction cost estimates show us needing to have about $546,000 set aside from our 2022 tax bond to cover, bid estimates that would go above and beyond our project plan in the state revolving fund. So, taking that into account, we're still sitting on an encumbered balance of about $1.5 million at this stage. So we have the funding to get this up right. That's basically where we're at right now. And that concludes the hearing.
Thank you, Charles. Let's move on to item 8, Director of Finance report. Please.
Good evening. I just want to give the board an update on investments for February and March. For February, we had approximately 1.5 million in investments that came up for maturity. We had 519,000 that was general fund money that matured, and we transferred that to Baines Capital for operation expenses. We also had the Long Island Village project, was in a CD for 3.7 million. That was redeemed, and funds were transferred to Baines Capital for that project to cover expenses for the next few months. We also had 3 CDs that were bond reserve monies. We had 580,000 for the revenue bond that was reinvested at 5.16. We had a 2018 year bond reserve also reinvested at the same amount, 5.16 for 12 months. And we had a 2019 revenue bond that was for $480,000. We increased that one to comply with the bond covenants by $8,500, and we also reinvested that at 5.16. In addition to that, we had some CDs of tax collection monies that came in early, so we were able to invest that, make a little bit of interest on those. Those came in for maturity in February, and the payments were made in March for those bond payments. And finally, in March, we had the 2022 tax bond. We had a CD that matured for $8.4 million. That was, we determined that we could reinvest $5 million of that, and the rest, the difference would be used for ongoing project expenses for that project. The $5 million, we purchased a security at 5.07 with a par, with a purchase price of $4.78 million, and the different transfer that's happening on those project expenses. So that concludes the investment.
Move to item 9, consider discuss the possible approval of the financial reports for December 23rd. Questions, comments?
Make a motion that we approve.
Made by Dave.
I know.
Blink for a minute.
The right Reverend David Bowder. All right, I second.
Second by
Dr.
Dr.
Lalonde,
Lalonde.
second.
All those in favor? They are opposed. Item 10, consider and discuss the possible approval of the financial reports for January 24. Questions, comments? Motion for approval by Mr. Donahue.
Second.
Second by Mr. Water.
So
All
you
those
can
in favor?
practice. Aye. Aye.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Item 11, consider and discuss the possible approval of the quarterly investment report for the quarter ending March 2024.
So moved.
By Dr. Lalonde.
Second.
Second by Mr. Water. All those in favor?
Aye.
They are opposed, none, thank you. Item 12, consider and review expenditures for March 16, 2024 through March 31st, 2024. Comments, questions about anyone in particular?
Acknowledged.
Otherwise, acknowledge all of them. Acknowledged by Mr. Water, Dr. Lalonde, Mr. Levy, and Mr. Donahue. Item 13, executive session permitted by the Open Meetings Act, ETCA Government Code Section 551001, et cetera, under Section 551071. Consultation with attorney under Section 551072, deliberations about real property, discussion and possible action concerning negotiations with the Port Isabel, San Benito Navigation District for seawater intake structure and pipeline. Do we need to conduct this or not?
Yeah, we should talk about it.
Okay. Need a motion to go
Make a
into executive session at 5:59. Motion made by Mr. Waters, second by Mr. Donahue. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are in executive session. Made by Mr. Waters.
That's
second by
what?
Mr. Donahue. All
And to
those
look
in
through the
favor?
project.
Yeah,
We're
right.
out of
That's what he
executive
said.
session.
We're gonna make all this money. The ocean.
Item discussion and possible action concerning negotiations with Port Isabel San Benito Navigation District for seawater intake structure and pipeline. Item 14, consider an action on executive session items if necessary. Need a motion to proceed as
I
directed.
make a motion to proceed as
Motion made
Second.
by Mr. Waters, second by Dr. Lalonde. All those in favor? We are then adjourned this meeting at 6:19.